Are you sending me something through Skype?
Thing that points to the positive for that. None. Not one single thing. And I'm not even speaking in hyperbole. There's not one single thing that
Right.
gives you a positive. Trump only has 4 years. You're going to get someone else after 4 years. So you're going to have 4 years of Trump or you're going to get Harris. Which is it? Which would you rather have? It's crazy to me. And it pisses me off. But it's also very scary that now the future of her life hangs in the rafters of this next election. Like, what's going to happen? Jay, no. Y'all want to know?
No. No.
You know what? I got 2 proper 199s the other day, and I didn't get to play the 199 moment, okay? Who sent those 199s? One of them was Harley Dave. One of them, he sent a ton the other night. I think Legalize Adulthood sent.
Said hold on.
One. Who else sent the other proper 199? Willie Will sent one, and I didn't play it. I'm sure they're here or they'll watch later because those guys are great. So here we go. Here's the proper 199 clip.
Should I do it?
Do not come.
I'm gonna do it.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Still watching ads. Shut up. So 3 what? That's not surprised. Yeah. That's pretty funny.
Oh.
Why did he do that at the end? Why did he do that at the end? Oh. Oh, man, that was good. Oh. Dude is funny as hell, man. Dude is just funny. Is it Earth For 1999, this has been following you on Geeks and Gamers since the Last Jedi shitstorm, and it's crazy how big Cobra Cast has become. If you do land a Trump interview podcast, what will your game plan be? Hail the 199 brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. If I do, which so I'll say this, with the new developments that has happened with Tenet Media and other names that are tied into this, I'm just going to be honest. The degree of difficulty for someone like me has now become almost impossible. And I think that Trump would be smart to be cautious about literally anyone he talks to that's not someone that it's not connected like to Dana White or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't think there's a shot in hell, honestly, based on that, because all of this is going to, like, I just think this will be very damaging to him if they started to link any of this, because regardless if it's true or not, this is about the games that the mainstream plays. But with that said, let's just assume, and I answered this the other night, but I would do my best to have him talk about cultural stuff and less political stuff. Like, I don't want to, like, every interview Trump has done, it's about politics and all of that. I would like to ask him about more culturally relevant stuff and how that's being impacted. The thing with Trump is that he probably would still drive the conversation exactly where he wanted it, regardless of what I asked him, because that's just how Trump is in almost every scenario, with the exception of Theo Vaughn, who did a great job on his Trump interview. But yeah, that's what Trump does. Trump drives the conversation wherever the hell Trump wants to drive the conversation, and there's not really anybody that's going to stop him. So I could literally ask Trump like something like, I don't know, how do you feel about the identity politics that has taken over the Star Wars franchise and how they attack fans that are racist or sexist? And he goes, they've called me racist and sexist, and I gave them the best country. I gave them the best economy of all time. And then, we were set up to have a better economy after 2020, but then they rigged the election and they stole it. And then he would go back to Trump talking points, because that's what he does. And, but yeah, so I would have to see, that would be my plan, though. But you know how Trump is, and that's just how it is. I still think this is one of my favorite Trump pictures that I've used right there for a thumbnail. That's one of my favorite ones. Piano Dean says, Tommy Laren on, optometry. Those little things you see floating around on your eyeballs could be friendly, but we're never going to find out if we keep rubbing our eyes and smushing them before they can hatch.
Pay attention to it.
Thank you, Piano Dean. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Tommy Laren at all. I am not. Jeremy Trump could read your super chats. Yeah. Woodeman says, I heard Cobra Cast is sponsored by the Blue Oyster. Captain J6 says, wow, 14 months as a member of the Snake Pit. How do I still listen to this? Thanks for the good coverage of everything, Jeremy. The chat is great. Hail. Thank you, Captain J6. I appreciate it, man. 14 months. 14 months. It's crazy how long this thing has been going, and it just keeps going. It keeps going and keeps growing and everything. So Donald Trump just tweeted on X. Right there. I am so honored to receive the Fraternal Order of Police official endorsement of President of the United States. Thank you. He's back, baby. He's back. Let's go. Trump back on X. Yes, I called it X. You can't get mad at me when I literally said X. You can't get mad at me, okay? I want him to do, like, I wish he would do some tweets like he would with the Dick Cheney thing. I wish he would tweet that, okay? Because that would be fantastic. I'm looking to see if there's any updates right now. Let's see. Hayden Wayne. Off topic, but I just got Halo Special Edition of original Xbox, or Special Edition original Xbox hooked up, And that sound is one I've missed. I posted a vid on Twix for the first time powering it on. Treasure hunt acquired. Mine was stolen when I was a teen. Hail, Hayden. Wait, I want to see if I can find it right now. I'm gonna look for it. Let's see. Hayden. That's gonna get everybody. All right, here we go. All right, we're going over to Hayden's Twitter. Here we go. Finally have Halo Special Edition Xbox again after mine was stolen several years ago. This is the first console I ever bought with my own money. So it's a treasure find for me. Sorry about the cable mess. I just put it on my desk and fired it up. Here we go, right here, baby.
Okay, so I've just got it. I've got it hooked up. My Halo Special Edition Xbox. Sorry about the cord mess, but let's see what happens. Oh, baby.
Damn. That is old school right there.
It's been a long time since I've heard that sound and seen that come on. Hell yeah. We got it, boys. Treasure hunt acquired.
Hell yeah, man. Look at that. Got the rebellion hat right there. That's what I'm talking about, man. Nostalgia, you cannot replace nostalgia. Speaking of that, since we're talking about merch, go over to 221B Tactical, get your Geeks and Gamers, what I called it. I'm putting like, is this it right here? Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, oh my god, this is gonna be cringe to watch, but I'm gonna fucking watch it. All right, here we go.
What's up, Geeks and Gamers? It's Jeremy with Ryan and Drunk 3PO. We're at the Bradford Sportsman Farm here in Gainesville, Florida.
Look, I barely got through that. Ryan started smirking because I almost messed up my line.
What's up, Geeks and Gamers? It's Jeremy with Ryan and Drunk 3PO. We're at the Bradford Sportsman Farm here in Gainesville, Florida. I'm an Alabama fan. It's a little weird being here, but that's okay. We're here to shoot some guns. We're here to experience VR. We're with Big Daddy Unlimited, and we're excited. Ryan, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. This isn't Call of Duty anymore. This is the real thing.
I'm excited to get on the race with these guys. It's going to be a blast.
And absolutely. It's going to be awesome. I'm glad I'm here.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be a blast.
And absolutely. It's going to be awesome. I'm glad I'm here.
So, thank you to Big Daddy Unlimited for having us out here. We're really excited. Let's shoot some guns. Let's be safe. Let's have some fun. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent. It's a typical day in my life. Headshots. No big deal.
Wanted to send thanks for reaching out. Just heard back and confirmed that this content does not violate and will remain Milo Yiannopoulos. I know nothing about this guy, and they're bringing Milo into it.
Do say things in a way that is going to elicit response from people.
Sparking outrage, spraying vitriol at many, and helping to legitimize a movement of negativity growing on the internet.
There's been a rampage of vitriol that we have faced since the show was even announced, when it was still just a fact. No one had even seen it.
This is what the Acolyte exists for. It's not here for story. It's not here to build the lore. For crying out loud, look at the cast right here. This cast was made for having as little white males as possible in this cast.
You know, Lucasfilm, the retarded Avengers assemble over there, backing each other up.
Racists do stick together.
Why did they include that? We talked about this on the. Why did they include the part where Ryan did the Avengers song? It's so stupid. As possible in this cast.
You know, Lucasfilm, the retarded Avengers assemble over there, backing each other up.
Racists do stick together.
Is that supposed to like be a gotcha? Shit, I didn't mean to hit that. What the hell did I do? Let me go back. Oh my gosh. Twitter video, bro. Having as little white males as possible in this cast.
You know, Lucasfilm, the retarded Avengers assemble over there, backing each other up.
Racists do stick together.
He accused Jones of playing the victim.
Actress Amanda Stenberg playing the victim card.
They can do nothing other than play the victim.
Amanda Stenberg, the adult pretender.
Pathological, sociopathic, feminist liars in popular culture.
Almost like she's fucking lying through her teeth. And it would be one thing if we actually saw some evidence of this, right? If we actually saw some of this shit she's talking about. But no, this is just gaslighting.
These are terrible, talentless people that we are instructing we must like unless then the sort of subtext that we don't like this because how terrible performance, their attitude, right?
Anybody watching this video and sees that clip of Ryan and they're like, what the fuck is this? Holy shit. What is
like them you're some kind of bigot somehow.
Terrible performance, her attitude, driving away fans, anything like that. No, it's everyone else's fault, and they're racist, and they just hate me because I'm black. It's all like she's so vapid and narcissistic.
It is the most like kind of narcissistic, lack of self-awareness,
And she's still bitching about oppressors. You've never been oppressed in your goddamn life, you bitch.
of course, the Ryan moment right
Look
there.
at that. They got a Derek Chauvin George Floyd memorial.
But also every single different race of people has been enslaved and discriminated against and oppressed in some way throughout our entire history. The only people that can't get over it seems to be black people.
I am not a racist.
I love Ryan so much.
Though I'm frequently told that I am one. But I am in favour of addressing whatever the fuck this is, because...
Hey, dog, put what I fucking sent you on screen.
So, yeah. So that's what we're dealing with right there. Okay. That's what we're dealing with. Not good. Okay. So when you hear me talk about the merch, when you hear me talk about locals, when you hear me talk about Rumble, that is why. And I've been on Rumble for a while. Geeks and Gamers has one of the biggest nerd channels on Rumble. I think we have like 80,000 followers on Rumble. And I'm really proud of that. Sports Wars, we have the biggest sports channel on Rumble. Yes. Let me double check that. Rumble chat, can you confirm that for me? Is Sports Wars still bigger than the Barstool Sports main channel? I think Sports Wars still has more following than Barstool Sports on Rumble still. That's crazy. So we do have a pretty big following on Rumble, and I'm very proud of that. But we're gonna have to we've got to make sure, like, these people are not gonna stop. They're not going to stop coming after us. They're in this. So just for the backstory, they tried this against us 3 years ago. They tried this against us 3 years ago, and it failed then, and it's failing now. And but they're not going to stop because, unfortunately, they have nothing else going on in their lives. That's all they have, is to try and destroy us. But they're not going to. They can't. But they're going to continue to try.
What happens if you...
Does Disney own them? I don't know if Disney owns them. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucasfilm was behind, though. Jeremy, will you be on Sports War Sunday? More than likely, I will. Hey, JM the Elite Fan says, Sports Wars has 49,000 followers. Barstool has a little over 40,000. Look at there. So we still have the biggest sports channel on Rumble that I'm aware of. That is fantastic.
Yo,
So
mute this fucking piece
that's
of
cool,
shit.
man. That is cool.
Oh, watch it, dog.
It's wild to see all of this play out. So we're not out of the woods, even though it might seem like we are. We're certainly not out of the woods by any means. One of the people behind it, though, actually said they're trying to backtrack now. Stephanie tweeted this out. So this is one of the people that was responsible for it, Molly Damon, who is the wife of Star Wars Explained, a big Star Wars YouTube channel. Molly Damon was involved in, in sharing this nonsense around, and then now she's backpedaling, saying, just to be clear, I did not create this, and there are other accounts who posted it before I did. Not sure where the credit is due. So you're backpedaling big time right now because you violated terms of service on YouTube. You're violating terms of service on Twitter because this is a coordinated harassment campaign. And no, I don't like using those words because I think they're super gay, but this is by the letter of the law. That's exactly what they're doing, because all of this started at the same time. You saw about 15 or 20 different accounts literally at the same time.
He walks on the stage
To use that opportunity. Never going to use it. Not at all. So, buy that Cobra chair. Ask Elon. That's not a bad idea. Listen, I do know somebody who knows Elon. Gina Carano could be like, yo, Elon, there's a certain harassment campaign going on your platform to take down these YouTube channels. You know? So that could be pretty interesting to say the least. I don't know. We'll have to think about that. Samuel B says the George Floyd memorial clip is so out of pocket, I can't even lie. John Goat says, what the fuck did they even think they were proving in those clips? Do people just have to agree that a black actress is oppressed or something? Makes no sense. No, none of it makes any sense. None of what they do makes any sense whatsoever. C&D Design says, I agree with Ryan. Hail Krista. 199 Trump 2024. It's kind of magic says, I bet Elon watches Geeks and Gamers and FNT. I mean, he's probably caught like some of our stuff, maybe. Especially probably Gary or Drinker. You know what I mean? I would imagine he'd probably caught like some of their stuff. I mean, Gary and Drinker were just on Piers Morgan. Oh my God. I gotta show this. This is such a tough clip to watch, but there is someone that will offer some commentary. Okay, are you ready for this one?
There's something weird with that guy. He's a weird guy. He is a weird guy. He walks on the stage. There's something wrong with that guy. And he called me weird. And then the fake news media picks it up. That was the word of the day. Weird, weird, weird. They're all going, but we're not weird guys. We're very solid people that want our country to be great again.
Freaking, why is Twitter video such trash right now?
Weird. They're all going, but we're not weird guys. We're very solid people that want our country to be great again. I mean, it's very simple. But there's something weird with that guy. He's a weird guy. He is a weird guy. He walks on the stage. There's something wrong with him.
Trump is amazing, dude. He's so funny. There's something weird with that guy. Also, I don't know if it got picked up. I imagine it did, okay? Hang on. I imagine it did, because when I heard it today, I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. All right? Hang on. Trump today, when he was talking about, I think he was talking about E. Jean Carroll at that debate, or at the press conference, and he said this, and I knew the media would pick it up.
And she would not have been the chosen one. She would not have been the chosen one.
When he said that, bro, I was like, Trump, you shouldn't have said that. You should not have said that. Hang on. God dang it. So these Twitter videos are just bad right now.
Crazy.
If the Twitter video will play, I don't know what's going on.
Never happened.
She would not be the chosen one. Speaking of the chosen one, I think there's someone you can consider the chosen one in that picture right there. Come on, Twitter, what are we doing? See, this is why. You want to compete with YouTube, I can't even get your fucking 2-minute video to play at like low quality. Jeez. I guess I'll just leave the picture on Alina Haba for a minute and you guys can enjoy that, and I'll see if I can, let's see, Trump press conference, is that what it was today? All right, let's see if we can find it. But listening to him talk about that was just freaking hilarious.
For being here. This is a long and complicated web and story, but it all goes back to the DOJ and Kamala and Sleepy Joe and all the rest of them. They should be looking at China, Iran, lots of other places. I haven't spoken to anybody for the last 10 years. They know that it's a scam. But it all goes back to the DOJ. We had a trial today. It's an appeal of a ridiculous verdict of a woman I've never met. I don't know. She wrote a book and she made a ridiculous story up. She put it in her book, and we're now appealing the decision. We had an extremely hostile judge appointed by Clinton, very good friends of Clinton. I guess he married, presided over the marriage ceremony of one of the lawyers on the case against us. And very sad. Judge Lewis Kaplan, angry man. He was so angry. I went to the trial. I've been in a lot of litigation over the years. I've never seen such anger, or wanted to throw one of our attorneys in jail. Who threatened her with jail. Nobody's ever seen anything like it over nothing. Nobody's ever. I've never seen such anger. But all of our judges. We had a brilliant judge, and I think a very fair judge in Florida. I think we have another judge who's very fair. I just ask for fair. I don't want anything different from anybody else. I just ask for fairness. We have another judge, a couple of judges that I think are fair. Then we have other judges that I think the whole thing, I think the system is great. The case that we met on today, and then we're going to talk about job numbers, which are horrible, by the way, horrible, like really bad. And you know that. I'm sure you won't report on it, but the job numbers are terrible. We're going to talk about the appeal today. We had a great appellate lawyer go down representing us, and I think John did a very good job. You have,
dude, I gotta show you guys this. Gary just sent this to me. Hang on just a minute. I gotta pull it up. This is wild. Am I blocked? Hang on. I can't be blocked, right? Let's see.
Oh, we're about to get steamed.
All right, here we go. What? So when was this made? This was made yesterday.
Yeah, it's looking that way.
No way. Look at the name of this. This is Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. It's time to geek out the vote. Join us at Geeks for Harris. Geeks and Nerds for Harris. Geeks and Nerds for Harris. What? Are you kidding me? Look at the people that they have there. It's kind of close to Geeks and Gamers, don't you think? It's kind of close. Interesting indeed. I just had to show you guys that. That is wild right there. I'll have to look further into that.
A matter of minutes to speak. It's a very complex thing. It was a setup, a rigged deal. They had 2 witnesses. And before I start, I have no idea who this woman is. They have a picture from, they say, about 40 years ago, a picture. And the picture depicts her and her husband on a celebrity line where I was a celebrity. I was a celebrity for a long time.
I've been a celebrity for a long time. He's so funny, dude.
Shaking my hand along with hundreds of other people. Nobody even knows where it is. The problem is she doesn't know the date of this incident. She doesn't know when. She doesn't know, was it in the 90s? Could it have been further than that? She has no idea when. And people do that because you don't want to give a specific date and then you find out that Trump or whoever it was in Europe. So they tend to do that. They take long periods so that this way, hopefully he was in New York at that time. But this is a disgraceful case, and disgraceful in particular because it's about a former president of the United States who is now leading in the polls to be the president again. And this is being worked with the DOJ, Department of Justice, as are all of these cases. They all come out. Atlanta, Fani, that is all Department of Justice. Nobody knew that. The case with Judge Engoron, the most overturned judge in the state, that is very close because they sent their team from the DOJ to help him. The district attorney, Alvin Bragg, that was all worked with, again, they sent the top operative from the department, from the DOJ Department of, I call it the Department of Injustice, because they're using the Department of Justice to rig the campaign. These cases are disgraceful. Now, they're brought, for the most part, in front of very hostile areas where Republicans get 3 or 4%, like downtown Manhattan, in front of very hostile judges, like hostile like you wouldn't believe. Judge Mershon, Judge Engoron, and Judge Kaplan, all of them hostile areas and very, very hostile judges. I've never seen anything like it. And very bad thing in this case, New York, very bad thing for New York. Businesses won't come to New York because of what took place with Judge Engoron. I can tell you that. And probably the rest of them also. But this,
I love how much he just rambles. It's so funny. He just goes on tangents. It's great.
Involved a woman who wrote a book, and I guess she said something in the book. That's when I first heard about it. I first heard about it in the White House. And of course, I denied the story because it's not true. I have no idea who the woman is. And I never met her. Now, I don't know about a picture that was taken 40 years ago with her husband on a celebrity line, so I don't think that counts. But as far as I know, I never met her. I never touched her. I would have had no interest in meeting her in any way, shape, or form. Her husband was a news anchor, actually, John Johnson, a very nice guy. She called him horrible things. We weren't allowed to say that in the trial. She said horrible things about him. I guess they're since divorced. He's a very nice guy, African-American, and she said very bad things. We weren't allowed to use that in the trial, which surprised a lot of people.
How's it going, guys?
But she made up a story, fabricated 100%,
that I attacked her at Bergdorf Goodman.
Man,
You know, it's
there's
very
these-
interesting. I don't
got-
think they
can
were
we
allowed to
beat
use
him?
this either. Her favorite show is Law and Order. And there's a almost exact story as her story in Law and Order about being attacked in the dressing room of a department store. I don't know if they used the name of the store. But that's her favorite show, Law and Order. She said that. And anyway, this evolved into a defamation case against me because I disputed her words because I told the truth. We were called. I was in the White House, and I said, no, it never happened. I didn't even know what they were talking about. This was, I was in the Oval Office. Sir, do you know anything about this? And this had to do with the book, and she had a few pages in a book making this claim. By the way, there was never a claim. There was never a police report. There was never anything mentioned. There was never publicity 30 or 40 years ago, whenever it took place. Nobody knows. She doesn't know when it took place. When did it take place? She has no idea. She thinks it was in the 1990s. She thinks it was in the 1990s. And the judge, we had two trials. We asked for a consolidation, and he said no. He said no, as he'd rather have double the publicity, because that's bad for me. Very bad, because I'm running for president, and this is not the kind of publicity you like. And whether it's true or not, it's horrible. And in this case, it's so false. It's a made-up, fabricated story by somebody, I think, initially just looking to promote a book. And when they called me, I denied the story. I got sued essentially for defamation because I'm denying a story where I'm right. I should be suing her for defamation. So that's where it is. Now, there were two witnesses. One is a woman who's followed me for years. She said in 1979, I was in an airplane with her, commercial flight, and we became very intimate. I just sat down. I think I had the book, The Art of the Deal. I was famous then, too. I've been famous for a long time. And we're sitting in first class, according to her. Never happened, by the way. Totally made up story. She's a Clinton person, too, by the way. Big Clinton person. She made up the story. And so many years ago, and I think it would be 1979, one of my many people behind me could correct it, but I think she said 1979. That's a long time ago. And I sat down. I believe I had some pretty big success then, and I was being talked about a lot. Maybe The Art of the Deal was out, sometime after that. I'm not sure. But I was well known.
We have a
and passengers are
Jumbo
coming into the
76, I
plane.
believe, moving down the road.
And she said I was making out with her.
You
And
can mark
then
that for our friendly
after
army.
15 minutes, and then she changed her story a
Our
couple
armor
of times.
season.
Maybe it was quicker. But I grabbed her at a certain part, and that was when she had enough. Now, so think of the impracticality of this. I'm famous. I'm in a plane.
Jumbo's
People are
down,
coming into
Stewart's
the
in
plane.
this field.
And I'm looking at a woman, and I grab her, and I start kissing her and making out with her. What are the chances of that happening? What are the chances? And frankly, I know you're going to say it's a terrible thing to say, but it couldn't have happened. It didn't happen. And she would not have been the
Let her
chosen
heavy
one.
nose. Stewart's going to get it behind him. It would be the fourth.
When he said that, I knew they were gonna clip it. I was like, Trump.
Yeah, the tank's just like sitting behind that.
Yeah, he's gonna have a steward coming up behind him. He's
I was like, Trump, you're gonna use that
Yeah, I think on
against
top of
you
him right
so much. I gotta hear her one more time.
But it couldn't have happened. It didn't happen. And she would not have been the chosen one. She would not have been the chosen one. She has gone around for years saying the story. Everywhere I go, she says this story. and it's a total lie.
Oh God.
Now, I assume she'll sue me now for defamation, like I got sued by E. Jean Carroll, who interestingly said she's been hurt, damaged, but she's made more money since she did this than she ever made in her life. She gets paid a lot of money to go talk bad things about me. So remember this whole thing started along with just about every other case I'm involved with the political campaign of Harris, and who's having a bad time because she can't talk. Of Harris and Joe Biden. This was election interference. It all is. It's all fabricated. But fabricated in front of very friendly judges for them.
I couldn't see him. I could see him
in
through the
very
bushes.
friendly areas for them. If you get a jury, it's very hard to win a jury when you have 3 or 4 or 5% Republican votes. Very, very tough, actually. 2 witnesses. One is named Jessica Leeds. So she was up again. She can't get rid of her. She was up. She said I was in an airplane doing that. A couple of things. You have an armrest in planes back in those days. Oh, by the way, she didn't know anything about the flight, where we were going. Where I was in very few flights. I was a New York guy building New York buildings. I was in very few airplanes, I will tell you, in those days. 1979, I think. It's a long time ago. But you had the armrest. And in the old days, they didn't move. Okay? But she said she then got out and she went to the back of the plane. And that was the end of the story, I think. And the story has followed me for years.
Stuart's
But
coming back
just
this
to
way.
finish with her, Jessica Leeds. No police reports, no witnesses, no corroboration of any kind, no criminal suggestions, no nothing. Then you have another one, and this one is a writer for People magazine, who I actually thought was very nice. She came to Mar-a-Lago, and she wrote the most beautiful story you've ever seen. It was a love story about Melania and myself. A love story of people.
I think there's an enemy OP or Garrison right in front of me.
Cover, I think. But it was a
I want
beautiful
to mark it as
story.
an OP.
Everybody would love to have that marriage. She said the nicest things about me, Melania. You have the story. I mean, you can read the story. And her name was, let's see, her name was who? Swornoff, yeah. I don't have it. Whatever her name was. I don't know the lady, so perhaps.
This is E. Jean Carroll. This is the E. Jean Carroll deal, right? That's who we're talking about here. Just so we're clear, I want to make sure.
Right in front of me.
Because
mark it, please.
If you don't know who E. Jean Carroll is, E. Jean Carroll. So which one is this one that's accusing me? That's the one, right? The one that there's so many I can't keep up. So, cat named Vagina. Nip Slitter says, "Oh no." Let's see. It's no, I'm talking about like the one that accused him, right? Yeah, this is E. Jean Carroll. So if you don't know who E. Jean Carroll is, let me give you a little bit of insight, okay?
That's because some very distinguished mice live here. Kahneman lives in the kitchen. Tversky lives in the bedroom. This is my shed. And
I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up.
Watch out, Matt.
on that side,
right next to us.
the
Just
book
got where you're standing.
that most influenced me growing up. On the door are the list of my dogs: Marky, Fortuna de la Spunky, Heidi, Tits, Bloody, and Hepburn. The streams and the rivers were dry, and it so horrified me that I came out and started painting the rocks blue to indicate that there was once a river here. And then after I got done painting the rocks, I just sort of walked over here and then did that tree and then did that tree, and then I did this tree, and then pretty soon I'd done this whole forest. Just because.
Yeah. So there you go with that. Yeah. So there you go with that.
I think he's right over here.
Perhaps it's much better that way, but I really don't know the lady.
She also did say rape is
she
sexy.
wrote
That's
this
right, Colton M.
Beautiful story. And about, I don't know, years later,
No
no
shot.
police reports, no anything.
I was just about to spray him.
Years later, the same person they called up, did you attack at Mar-a-Lago
He's one in the
this
building.
woman, this writer, whatever her name is? And she was a witness in a case. Her and Leeds were the two witnesses. There's only two witnesses.
Yep.
Did you attack her? They said, who is she?
Oh, in the building.
And they said, she writes for People magazine. I said, I don't know anything about this lady. I had a story long ago, years before, but it was a very nice story. So I don't know. It has to be made up because I don't know what you're talking about. It turned out that the same lady that wrote this beautiful story years later said I attacked her. Now, think of this. Oh, and she said the butler knew everything. The old expression, the butler did it, right? Very famous in crime stories. Well, the butler was Tony Senecal, worked for me for a long time. He was retired at that time. That was years later. He retired. He was retired when this hoax came out. And what happened is he totally confirmed my story, and he didn't even work for me anymore. He passed away a couple of years ago, a good man.
I think I got him.
He said the woman was crazy. It never happened. I was the one that served her while
He's gone.
she was
Good.
drinking.
Thank you.
And I was there, and nothing ever happened. But you don't need the butler. All you have to do is read the story. Think of this. A woman comes into Mar-a-Lago,
Supply box here.
interviews me about a love story. Story about my wife and myself. And during that interview, I attacked her and pushed her up against the wall. Violently. Okay? And then she leaves and she writes a perfect story. Perfect story. She doesn't mention the event. Again, there's nothing on file at all. Zero. There was no complaints. There were no complaints to People magazine. There was no witness. There was nothing. Yeah, well, there was a witness, the butler, and he's already said everything. He's already told this story. Because this story, likewise, like Leeds, this story has followed me around. I could go through many other stories outside of this. You know, it's very funny. When you're rich and famous, you get a lot of people come up with a lot of stories. But you're writers.
When I heard that earlier, I was like, is he gonna say the grab him line? I was like, Trump, don't do it. Don't say the grab him line. Please don't, Trump. We're only 2 months out. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Yeah, we got a few moving in from the west into the
Drunk 3BO's in the chat. What's up, Drunk 3BO?
Some of you are legitimate writers, and some of you aren't. Some of you are fake news, and some of you are real news. But put yourself in my position. I'm running for president, and I have all these cases all of a sudden come out, and they're fake cases, and they report back to DOJ, and you have Lisa Monaco, one of the people at DOJ who I saw the other day talking about the Russia hoax. And yet she's friends with Andrew Weissman and that whole group and crew, who should be sued, by the way, because they're not a charity. All they are is a political organization that goes after Trump for the last 8 years. I mean, he's a sick person that runs
Enemy
that
airhead
group.
coming down 20
Lisa
meters in front
Monaco
of
is
me
in the
right
Department
here.
of Justice, but she's a Andrew Weissman person who's been after me for years. So far, he's failed. And he's having a heart attack.
Please
He's
mark
bleeding
this
in the
enemy
balls,
area.
I
I'm
guess.
gonna try to take it
If you
down.
look at the Nate Silver.
On my body, airhead,
very
on my
respected
body.
guy. I don't know him.
I'll try to get
But
to
he
it.
has me up by a lot. So let's say we're leading, or
They still
let's say
got
we're
guys pushing
tied, or
from the
let's
west,
say
though.
what
They're gonna
difference
be
I'm
getting here
in
soon.
the races between
Yeah,
two
there's
people,
points.
but I think we're leading by a lot. Because the opponent refuses
God,
to
hope we
do an
did then.
interview because she can't talk. And
Oh, they got me.
they're not going to skate through it. I'm not going to have a Marxist president. The people are getting it.
Let me get a few of these super chats real quick. I'm sure you guys don't mind looking at Haba while I do that. Jeremy the Cyborg says, "What's your favorite console, and do you have a PO box people can send you stuff?" Yes, the PO box is in the descriptions of the Geeks and Gamers videos. It might be in the description of this channel too, but they're definitely in the description of the Geeks and Gamers videos. And my favorite console ever is the Super Nintendo. Not even close. Like, Super Nintendo will probably always be my favorite video game console. I love the Super Nintendo so much, and to this day, those games still hold up very, very well. Mike for 10 says, Dean Kane retweeted declining attending an event being hosted by Linda Carter for the Geeks and Nerds for Harris. I see that Nerdrotic replied, as did I. Hey, there we go. Yeah. So Geeks and Nerds. That's pretty interesting how you have Geeks and Gamers, you have Nerdrotic, and then you have Geeks and Nerds for Harris. Isn't that interesting? Interesting indeed. John Goat says, you ever notice how they only go after Caucasian males with this stuff? Almost like they mentioned all your women and black employees and defenders. They look like idiots when calling you bigots. Yeah, there's definitely narratives involved. There ain't no doubt about that. Anthony says, what do you think about the new Linkin Park singer? What do I think about the new Linkin Park singer?
Shut up, silly woman.
That's what I think about the new Linkin Park singer. Haas Von Butterdodge says, F them. We have Geeks and Gamers for Trump. A win for sure. Crimson says, still waiting for my Mage hoodie. Hell yeah, man. I'm looking forward to seeing some of that stuff out there.
So we go down to court today to talk about this case is a scam. And all I can say is that I never met the woman other than this picture, which could have been AI generated. I don't know. Showed up out of nowhere, but it's fine. Nice picture with her, her husband, and lots of other people are online. So, celebrity line. But never met her, never touched her, never had anything to do with her. The other thing is I was very famous then. If I would have walked into Bergdorf Goodman, the department store that she said, everybody would have said, oh, there's Trump. And it would have been, at that time, on page 6. Page 6 was the equivalent of today's internet. And it would have been a big story if I would have walked into that store, gone into a dressing room, and supposedly, you know what, to her.
He's so funny the way he puts things, but he's right. He's 100% right.
Never happened. Never happened. Total phony story. And I feel sad that I have to come up here and explain it. I have all this legal talent, but legal talent cannot overcome rigged judges. They can't overcome a 4% Republican area. And I'm disappointed in my legal talent, I'll be honest with you. They're good. They're good people. They're talented people. Today at the trial, they didn't mention the dress. So the Monica Lewinsky type dress was a big part of the trial. Big, big part of the trial. I said, why didn't you mention that? And I heard there was a dress involved. And I wasn't frightened at all because I did nothing with her. Never touched this woman, saw this woman.
Not the chosen
had no
one.
idea who she was.
They're pushing up a support.
They have a dress,
on the top
sir.
of the map.
I said, so what? Sir, it's very simple. They use that dress to try and intimidate me.
They complain and put a
They
gear.
use that dress with the public. That dress was such a famous dress. It was Monica Lewinsky, part 2, the dress. And the judge
Man was right
wanted
next to
it
it, too.
for trial. And it was going to go into trial. And then they found out there was nothing on the dress, which I knew. And then the judge wouldn't have.
For those that are asking, he's referencing where this famous story
Her
came
cat
from.
was named Vagina.
That one, that famous
allow
story.
it to be used. So they used it as a cudgel. They used it as a hammer over my head. And then the judge, when he heard that it showed totally negative, the judge wouldn't allow us to use it at trial. Then there was an Anderson Cooper interview where she said essentially, no, he didn't rape me. She was selling a book. She wrote a book. The book would have been a total failure, probably was anyway, although probably sold more books ago. Again, it's a woman that wasn't doing well until she came out with the stuff about me. And that's happened to others too, by the way. She's not the only one. But they have the Anderson Cooper tape. And the Anderson Cooper tape, it's an interview of her.
I wasn't planning on watching this whole thing. Isn't there a point where Haba comes up there and says something? Because I do want to hear that, because you said she was fired up. So we're gonna listen to Haba.
Evidence to buttress E. Jean Carroll's entirely meritless claims on the one hand, and an improper exclusion of evidence that would have resulted.
Shut up. There we go.
Good afternoon. I've done this quite too many times, actually too many times for the last 3.5 years while President Trump has been trying to fight to get this country back. And I want to speak to the American women, and I want to speak to the people that need to get out and vote on November 5th. I have sat with President Trump for years now, while he has been targeted with lies and with judges, AGs, and DAs who have specifically run in this city and others on getting Trump. The Trump administration will fix this problem. We will stop Kamala Harris's regime, because she was there, let's not forget that, and she still is, of using officials from the White House, putting them in DA's offices, in AG's offices, and attacking your political opponents. And this country deserves better than this. We do. We should not be sitting here at a press conference talking about this. We did this in 2016, and every woman had no reports. They come out when it's election time, and as a woman who has stood with President Trump, who has spent extensive time with President Trump and with his beautiful family, I will tell you, that is not President Trump, and I completely am disgusted by what I have seen happen to this person, his family, and the Trump organization that we stand in right now.
She needs to be White House press secretary. Holy hell, dude. She would rip the media apart if she was White House press secretary. She would be the GOAT. She would be must-see TV every single time.
You must vote Donald Trump back in, because as an attorney, as a woman, as a mother, our future of this country depends on it, and we need to stop this from happening. The DOJ is supposed to help our country and protect us, not attack us, because you cannot win in the polls. Thank you.
Thank you very much, both. And just in finishing this, we have numerous other trials that are also very much in coordination with the DOJ. They actually took just about their top person and they put him into the offices of the Attorney General of New York. And then also the office of the DA Bragg's office, to make sure the case is brought viciously against their political opponent. And it's a shame. It's a shame. Businesses will not come to New York because of it. They actually, in the case of Engoron, they used a consumer fraud case, never used before. And not only were my numbers correct, and again, this was a generality, all you need is a general, but I had really good numbers, but they were very conservative, very much on the low side. And the judge knew that. And the judge ruled a fine against me, the likes of which has never even been heard of. Businesses will never come to this state as long as that is able to be held up. Because we won that trial so conclusively. We had an expert witness said that
Well, guys, get back to
President
cuddle.
Trump's financial. This was an expert witness from the Stern School of Business, one of the most highly respected people in the country, as an expert witness. He said, to the best of my remembering, it's a big statement, but he said, this is perhaps the best financial statement I've ever seen. But the judge made me pay like a $400 million fine. This is a consumer fraud statement. Think of it. Consumer frauds
They're coming from the
case
north.
that they made it in. The judge refused to give it
See
over
something
to the
dropping over
commercial
there to
division where they
to
could
the,
understand things,
around
and they
that
would have
thing.
dismissed it immediately
They just killed it.
because
The
this
rest
case
of it.
had no merit whatsoever. The judge wanted to settle the case for a very much smaller amount, and I said, I'm not going to settle. I didn't do anything wrong. But he would have settled the case for a much smaller amount. He wanted to settle it for a much more. We had numerous meetings in his office for a fraction of the number that he gave. That was one of the interesting things. I figured that the worst that you could do is what he wanted to settle
that in the
for,
airhead
which
right
was
in
a
front of
very
us?
small number by comparison. And then he just came out with this number. This
Yeah,
was
that's
in
in the airhead.
coordination with the DOJ. And the other case that you know about and you've been hearing about, which is same kind of a thing, also in coordination, is the Bragg case. And they actually wanted to put them together in New York. They wanted to put the DA case together with the Attorney
Enemy
General
tank
case,
right on
but they
top of me.
both wanted credit. They couldn't understand, they both wanted credit, so they had their own cases. And it's very corrupt in New York, and very, very corrupt. It's a very corrupt place.
Hey, they got
And
guys
doing
all
very
over those
badly,
two
but
buildings.
when
Watch
people
out.
see what happened, and when they see, I've had so many calls from business people saying, this is just terrible. Today, there was a story about somebody in Southern District who's highly respected, knocking the hell out of both of those cases, say it's an embarrassment they were allowed to be brought. And I'm going to write out a list of things
I think we're
from
finally getting some guys
Alan
on the windows
Dershowitz,
landing. We're
Andrew
still got
McCarthy,
hope.
Greg Jarrett, that some of the greatest people, all legal scholars, great people. Jonathan Turley, like 10 highly respected, the most highly respected people that quote Calabrese, Judge Calabrese, that quote on cases. And shockingly, they can't even believe it. They said this case should not have been allowed to be brought. And that's about pretty much both cases.
About the Louis
but
Scottish
it's
case.
about the case that we have in front of Judge Mershon. That case is a disgrace. Should have never been allowed. I did
Fucking
nothing
tank ran me
wrong.
over from the UP.
And he took a non-existent, expired, long expired by the statute of limitations, misdemeanor. He made it into 34 or something more than that counts of felony. Nobody can even believe it. Over nothing. If you look at that case, he wouldn't allow it. That whole thing was done by an attorney. I had nothing to do with it. That was done by an attorney, a sleazebag named Michael Cohen. And he did the whole thing. And you're allowed to have reliance on attorney. It's called reliance on attorney. You have a reliance on attorney. Attorney's allowed to do things. And all it was is a non-disclosure agreement with somebody that said nothing happened, by the way. I might add that. If you don't mind, I'll add that. We have a statement, nothing happened. And he got a non-disclosure agreement. He did it on his own. And this judge refused to allow us to use that as a defense. The attorney-client defense, which is very standard. Other people have never heard that you're not allowed to use it. But he's the one that did it because I was running for president and running the country. He's the one that did it. So all of these cases are a disgrace. But the case that we had today,
to put it in perspective, I mean, this dude is running for president. He's being indicted all over the country. He's dealing with attacks. He's being shot at. He's got Secret Service failing him. They're going after his businesses. They're going after his associates. They're going after his family. And he's still crushing it.
Or the
Imagine what he could do if they'd leave him the fuck alone. You know what I mean? Like, unbelievable.
Downtown. I wish we could have mentioned the dress. Again, got the idea from Monica Lewinsky, but it was negative, wasn't allowed to be used. I wish we could have mentioned many of the other things, and I certainly wish we could have gone to CNN and gotten the outtakes, what's called the outtakes. What did Anderson Cooper tell her during the commercial? I'd love to find that out. So that's where we are. We have a very corrupt system of laws, but in that system, we have some very good judges also. And I think in the end, the good judges will prevail. And I hope Democrat appointed judges can see a scam like this, where somebody just makes up a story, probably out of Law and Order. I don't know. She made it up out of somewhere, but check out the Law and Order episode.